Don't ever feel the need to apologize for being who you are. Paulo Coelho envisioned a world in which being true is your greatest strength and you stand tall and shamelessly who you are. Doesn't it sound freeing? The true question, though, is what's preventing you from moving forward. Let's break through the clutter. We're here to discuss something revolutionary: being unabashedly yourself in a world that is always trying to mold, shape, and dictate who we should be. You may be asking yourself, easy to say, hard to do. Your statement is accurate. It's not simple, but neither is mask wearing, chasing approval all the time, or lowering your brightness to appease others. Consider how much of your daily energy is wasted attempting to fit in and live up to others' expectations. Isn't that exhausting? Even worse, it deprives the world of your genuine voice, your special talents, and your actual potential. The worst part is that the Stoics, those ancient philosophers, figured this out years ago. In other words, you own who you are and you don't need to apologize. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, once said, "Be your own master and look at things as a man, as a human being, as a human being, as a citizen, as a mortal." This idea has persisted throughout history, not only among the Stoics but also among Eastern philosophers and contemporary thinkers. Your greatest strength is in your sincerity. We will therefore delve deeply today. We'll examine why being authentically oneself without apologies is a powerful and useful way to live, rather than merely being philosophical, how to overcome it, and how to use the tremendous power of your true self. Are you prepared to live your life and stop apologizing? To exchange your beliefs for the expectations of others? To be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you sad? Gentlemen, please buckle up. This is a call to arms, not just a video. An exhortation to be unapologetic, unyielding, and unstoppable. Chapter 1: A Stoic Viewpoint. The Stoics were men who lived centuries ago, but their teachings are still relevant today. Let's explore their wisdom. Let's start with Epictetus. He rose to prominence as one of the most important intellectuals of his era, despite being born into slavery. Consider that in the context of being yourself. He once stated, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. Your power comes from how you react to other people's opinions, not from influencing them." Consider being reprimanded for being too vocal. The typical man would try to blend in, apologize, and pull back. Is their opinion in my control? The Stoic would respond, "No. Is my reaction in my control?" Yes. Why apologize for something that is beyond your control? Let's now discuss the philosopher King Marcus Aurelius. What does he mean when he writes, "Be your own master and look at things as a man, as a human being, as a human being, as a citizen, as a mortal" in his private journal, which was later published as Meditations? It has to do with perspective. You are a distinct individual with your own thoughts, feelings, and purpose. You are not merely a cog in the system. Marcus goes further, though. You control your thoughts, not external circumstances. You will discover strength if you realize this. This is the essence of being authentically yourself. Although you have no control over whether or not people like you, you do have influence over upholding your moral principles. Here's a contemporary example. Let's assume you're dedicated to enhancing your mental well-being, but your buddies ridicule it. The weak man may minimize his attempts to blend in. The Stoic man would remain steadfast, understanding that other people's opinions do not jeopardize his well-being. Here comes another Stoic heavyweight, Seneca. "As long as you live, keep learning how to live," he added. This isn't just about learning things, it's about continuously improving your self-awareness, understanding who you are, and having the guts to live in accordance with that understanding. Take a moment to consider Seneca's other brilliant statement, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." You are in harmony with the natural order of things when you are authentic. You're accepting your nature rather than resisting it. Let's be realistic, though. How can we use this Stoic knowledge in our day-to-day existence? 1. Self-reflection. Set aside some time every day to consider your ideas and behavior. Do you live by your principles, or do you make concessions to appease other people? 2. Pay attention to the things you can control, such as your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Give up attempting to dictate what other people think of you. 3. Accept discomfort. Growth occurs when you step outside of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to take on challenges that need you to be who you truly are. 4. Practice being unaffected by criticism. It's acceptable that not everyone will like the true you. It never ceases to amaze me that we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Marcus Aurelius once remarked. 5. Living in accordance with nature does not imply living in the woods, rather. It refers to being aware of and in harmony with your own nature, including your values, strengths, and shortcomings. Recall that being unapologetically yourself means having the guts to be true to yourself, stand by your beliefs, and live your life as you see fit. It has nothing to do with being obstinate or careless. Consider this Epictetean quotation as we conclude this Stoic viewpoint. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do, gentlemen. This is a call to action. Determine your identity and your goals, then have the guts to live them out without apology. The ageless nature of this idea will be further reinforced in the following part when we examine how this Stoic knowledge relates to Eastern philosophy. But for now, consider this: are you still apologizing for who you are, or are you living as your true self? Chapter 2: Perspectives on Eastern Philosophy. Let's turn our attention to the East, where the Stoic demand for honesty is echoed by ancient knowledge. According to Confucius, complete virtue in China is the practice of 5 qualities: compassion, earnestness, honesty, generosity of mind, and gravity. Take note of the list's authenticity. Being loyal to oneself was a fundamental component of virtue, according to Confucius. However, he goes one step further and states, to know what you know and what you do not know. That is true knowledge. This directly relates to self-awareness, which is an essential part of being unapologetic. If you don't know who you really are, you can't be authentic. Another viewpoint is provided by Taoist founder Lao Tzu. Our slogan is to stop comparing, stop competing, and just be yourself. He stated, everyone will respect you when you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete. Zen Buddhism in Japan emphasizes presence and attention. We are encouraged to approach life with an open mind and no preconceived notions by the idea of shoshin, or beginner's mentality. What does this have to do with being authentically yourself? It's about letting go of the masks and false pretenses and just being yourself. Sincerity, or Makoto, is emphasized in the Bushido warrior code. It emphasizes that genuine strength, not fakery or dishonesty, comes from being real. Stoicism and other Eastern philosophies all emphasize the same idea: your strength lies in your genuineness. They educate us to live authentically, let go of comparisons, be present, and know ourselves. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down, as the Japanese say. But keep in mind that such nails frequently transform the world. Be unapologetically you, and don't be scared to stand out. Chapter 3: The Influence of Genuineness. Let's get right to the point. Being unashamedly yourself is a game changer and a superpower that can affect every part of your life, not simply some feel-good philosophy. First, confidence is bred by sincerity. You act more firmly, talk more plainly, and stand straighter when you're not spending energy upholding a facade. This confidence emanates and people notice. As Jen Sincero states, the only way to deal with the world is to be yourself. Second, the proper people are drawn to it. Being authentic allows you to naturally weed out people who don't fit with who you really are, resulting in deeper, more lasting connections. Third, it promotes achievement. Keep in mind, I am who I am, your approval is not needed. Steve Jobs didn't follow the herd and transform the world. He famously remarked, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Let's face it, though, this isn't simple. We are always under pressure from society to blend in and comply. This is accentuated by social media, which presents us with meticulously edited depictions of other people's lives. The temptation to attempt to fit ourselves into these idealized perceptions is strong. But keep in mind, this you are permitted to be a work in progress as well as a masterpiece at the same time. Being authentic doesn't require perfection, it only requires being who you are without apology. Therefore, ask yourself if you are still apologizing for who you are or if you are living an authentic life. In your hands lies the power. Select genuineness. Select you. The Masculine Art of Unapologetic Living, Chapter 4. Let's discuss what it means to be a guy in the modern world, gentlemen. Being unashamedly yourself is living the essence of manly power, not just expressing who you are. Real guys don't wear masks or give in to social pressure. They are not afraid to be themselves and stick to their principles. It is difficult to fail, but it is worse to never have tried to succeed, as Theodore Roosevelt once stated. Apologizing for who you really are is a sign of weakness, not power. Authenticity is the source of true masculine power. It all comes down to having the guts to be open and vulnerable while sticking to your values in the face of discomfort. Consider the great historical men. Did they express regret for their beliefs and visions? Absolutely not. They overcame hardship, stood tall, and made a difference. That is the type of man we are discussing here. To be clear though, this is not about being haughty or dismissive. True guys value themselves before they value others. They are aware that their value is not based on what other people think. Being unabashedly yourself entails accepting full responsibility for your life, without making excuses or assigning blame. Your choices, deeds, and life are all your own. That's the difference between men and boys. Gentlemen, keep in mind that while hard men generate wonderful times, soft guys create bad ones. Hard means being tenacious, genuine, and unrepentant in your quest for development and meaning. Therefore, consider this. Are you living an apologetic life, always looking for acceptance? Or are you being true to yourself and unapologetic about your authenticity? It's time to take charge and be the unapologetic version of yourself that you were destined to be. Gentlemen, you are the epitome of true manly power because of that. Chapter 5. Typical barriers to genuineness. Okay, males, let's address the issues that need to be addressed, the obstacles that prevent us from being really ourselves. Fear of being judged comes first. It's powerful, primitive, and most likely has held you back more times than you'd like to acknowledge. Our need for approval is ingrained in us as social beings. Here's the reality, though. It's acceptable that not everyone will like you. Allow that to sink in. Christina Grimmie once stated, "Confidence is not they will like me, confidence is I'll be fine if they don't." The people-pleasing trap comes next. It's cunning, disguising itself as goodwill or diplomacy, but submitting to the will of others all the time. That's self-betrayal, not kindness. Remind yourself not to weaken yourself for anyone or any reason. You are sufficient. Be who you are without apology. Your authenticity is not negotiable, Steve Maraboli stated. Lastly, there is the major issue of imposter syndrome. That voice that keeps saying you're not clever enough, good enough, or whatever. Simply put, it's nonsense. You deserve to be here. Don't allow self-doubt to rob you of your authenticity. As the Stoic Epictetus once stated, "No man can rob us of our will." The expectations of society and social media are like unseen chains. We watch highlight clips and contrast our behind-the-scenes footage with the best shots from other people. The game is rigged. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde said it best: stop playing their game and start living your own. We frequently refrain from being real out of fear of rejection or failure. We follow the plan and take precautions. The worst part is that, whether you're being authentic or not, rejection and failure are unavoidable. So why not be yourself in front of them? Finally, there is the comfort zone. Benjamin Disraeli once observed, "Never apologize for showing feeling. When you do so, you apologize for the truth." There are no threats or waves, but there is also no growth, so it's comfortable. Being vulnerable, taking chances, and stepping out are all part of being authentically yourself. It's uncomfortable, but it's also the beginning of life. These challenges are tough and normal, but they can be overcome. The first step is to recognize them. Let's talk about how to go over them now. Keep in mind that same questions and anxieties were shared by all great men throughout history. They were unique not because they had no challenges, but because they had the guts to be themselves in spite of them. According to Osho, you become beautiful the moment you accept yourself. Which of these challenges then speaks to you? What ones have been preventing you from moving forward? Name them, recognize them, and prepare to confront them directly. Because your true, unrepentant self is waiting on the other side of these obstacles. Chapter 6. Techniques for living without remorse. Okay, it's time to equip ourselves with useful techniques for living an unashamed life. This is about action, not just rhetoric. Self-reflection. Be brutally honest first. When no one is looking, who are you? What are your main beliefs, interests, and anxieties? Journal, meditate, and spend time alone. Self-knowledge is your cornerstone. Seneca once remarked, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." 2. Establish limits. Your principles, your time, and your energy are not negotiable. Saying no is a skill. Respect for oneself and others is more important than being a jerk. Keep in mind that no is a complete sentence. 3. Be radically honest with both yourself and other people. No more masks, no more white lies. In the long run, it's liberating, although initially uncomfortable. According to Marcus Aurelius, don't do it if it is wrong. Don't mention something if it's untrue. 4. Develop resiliency because rejection and criticism are inevitable. Develop mental fortitude. Negative visualization was a technique used by the Stoics to prepare for the worst. You will be ready when the time comes. 5. Take pride in the peculiarities you attempt to conceal. You are special because of them. Accept them. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? Dr. Seuss once said. 6. Constant development. Being genuine does not equate to stagnation. Continue to grow and learn, but do it for your own sake rather than for the approval of others. 7. Choose wisely and surround yourself with genuine people. Jim Rohn once remarked, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." 8. Be kind to yourself since you will make mistakes and have weak points. Don't be hard on yourself. Show yourself the same consideration that you would a close friend. Take measured chances by frequently venturing outside of your comfort zone. You become more of your true self each time. Don't apologize, just be yourself. Be fearless and bold. Put these tactics into practice every day. Begin modestly. Perhaps it's wearing your favorite clothing but worrying too much, or standing out in a meeting when you typically keep quiet. Momentum is created by every genuine action. Keep in mind that progress, not perfection, is the goal of this trip. Your superpower is your sincerity. As Sophia Bush once stated, you are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. We must stop concealing it and begin to use it. The world needs you who you are, without apology, without doubt, and without compromise. Which tactic will you employ first today? How will you present yourself as who you truly are? You have an option. Make it matter. Chapter 7. Real-world uses. Now let's get to the point. The following practical activities will assist you in living an unapologetic life. 1. Every day assess your authenticity by asking yourself, what is one way I can be more authentic today? It may be as easy as speaking your mind honestly or pursuing a hidden passion. Consider how it felt at the end of the day. 2. The No Challenge. Refuse requests that don't fit with your principles or objectives for a week. Respecting your boundaries is more important than being challenging. Take note of how it affects your energy and sense of dignity. 3. Authenticity journaling. Write for 10 minutes every day without editing or passing judgment. You can discover your own thoughts and feelings by engaging in this unvarnished, honest activity. 4. The mirror exercise. Spend a full minute every day staring into your own eyes. Despite its simplicity, it has great force. Are you able to look in the mirror without recoiling? Can you acknowledge your weaknesses and talents while grinning at your reflection? 5. Practice authentic communication by concentrating on expressing your truth in the next exchange in a gentle but forceful manner. No white lies, no people-pleasing. Note how this alters the quality of the interaction. 6. Values audit. Enumerate your 5 most important values. Now go over your recent choices. Are they consistent with these principles? If not, what should be altered? 7. Fear-facing Friday. Every Friday, do something that makes you feel afraid yet is in line with who you really are. It can be displaying your artwork, dressing boldly, or having that awkward conversation you've been avoiding. 8. The approval detox. Make choices for a day without consulting anyone. Have faith in your own judgment. Observe how your confidence and perspective change as a result. 9. Authenticity meditation. Imagine living a genuine life for 5 minutes every day. When you are who you truly are, how do you move, speak, and engage with others? Let your activities be guided by this vision. 10. The twist on gratitude every night. Make a list. 3 things about yourself, not your accomplishments, but your innate traits, for which you are thankful. Authenticity and self-worth will grow as a result. Adopt these procedures on a regular basis. They are lifestyle modifications rather than merely physical activity. You'll inevitably get more self-assured, more genuine, and more you as you go. Remind yourself that being really you is a process rather than a final goal. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Accept the process, take lessons from your mistakes, and acknowledge and appreciate your successes, no matter how minor. Gentlemen, this is yours. Go forth now and be who you are without apology. In conclusion, men, we have studied Eastern philosophy, traveled through the knowledge of the Stoics, and equipped ourselves with useful tactics. It's time to take action now, though. Keep in mind that being authentic is a gift to the world as well as to yourself. You allow others to follow suit. In a world that is in dire need of real connection, you become a light of authenticity as you embrace who you really are. I hereby dare you to live an unapologetic life as of right now. Adhere to your principles, speak your truth, and follow your passions. Although it won't always be simple, I can assure you that it will always be worthwhile. You have control over your thoughts, not external circumstances, as Marcus Aurelius once stated. You will find strength if you realize this. You don't need to apologize to be powerful. You may be who you truly are. Go forth now and reveal your true self to the world. Have courage. Show courage. Don't be sorry, just be you. The real you is what the world is waiting for. Stop making it wait any longer.